Hello, beautiful beings. It is so great to be with you again on day 9 of our Self Love in Relationship Challenge. We are doing amazing. We have actually been doing self love for what is it? Is this our 19th day, I think, because we did 10 days of self-love just outside of relationship, and now we are doing 10 days of self-love in relationship. Excuse me. So I believe this is basically day 19 of our amazing self-love revolution. So let me know how you are today on this amazing Thursday. I see a lot of my peoples coming in. I'm so glad to see you. Let me know how you are doing. We have been having a ball together. My dear sister Lisa is here. Woohoo! And I see a lot of other folks are coming in. So please let me know how you are today on this beautiful May day. So we have a really exciting practice today for self-love in relationship. I am so excited. It is radical ownership and accountability for each partner. This is a really new expansion for me. I'm still putting it into place in my own relationship. So I'm really excited to talk about this today with you all and see how it lands for you. And it is going to be very, very powerful for our own self-love to embody this practice. So this is the self-love revolution. Every day we have been doing a different practice to help us really profoundly embody our self-love in relationship. And one of the very interesting things that has come up is we've been giving ourselves a number from 1 to 10 of our self-love just on our own and our self-love in relationship. And for most of us, the numbers have been different. For most of us, the self-love on our own is higher than the self-love in relationship. So this has been really interesting, and I think illustrates that self-love in relationship is a greater expansion. So that's what we are practicing in this challenge today. And I see my amazing sister Jamie is here. And I also see a comment about the truth always serves everyone in the end. Yes, yesterday I said that was the topic today. And we are absolutely going to talk about that in the umbrella of radical ownership and accountability for each partner, which includes speaking the truth. And the truth always serves everyone in the end. So I'm sorry if that was a little confusing. Wonderful. And I'm glad you're on the ball about the topics. That's awesome. So let me know how you're doing. It's so great to see you all. So first, I'll just briefly recap our previous 8 days of practices, and then we're going to go into this very, very powerful practice of radical ownership and accountability for each partner in the relationship. Okay, so day 1, I love these practices. They're so powerful. They're helping me so much. I hope they're helping you too. Day 1, fearless, radical commitment to your own happiness. Yes, please. Sign me up. I'll take that. Day 2, you and only you are responsible for your life and happiness. Awesome. That means I can take ownership of my own life and happiness. That means I can create the life I want, a beautiful, happy, amazing life. Day 3, fearless, radical commitment to your human's needs. Thank you. Yes, sign me up for that as well. Day 4, the relationship is in each moment. This was a huge expansion for me. The relationship is not when a conflict is over. It's not when someone has healed something. It's right now. It's every moment. Your relationship is in every moment, as is your whole life. I know many of us have been socialized to think things are when something else happens, right? I'll be happy when, etc. Our life, our relationship is right now. Day 5, the practice was love is a verb. How is your partner showing up for you? How is your partner showing up for you? Are they showing you love in a way that is meaningful to you? Are they acting in a way towards you that is meaningful towards you and that brings you joy? And then day 6, day 7, day 8, we spent 3 days on fearless, radical commitment to healthy communication. And we spent 3 days on that topic because, in my humble opinion, healthy communication is the foundation for any relationship. In all of my experience, my PhD is in marriage and family therapy, and I've counseled couples through a decade. And in my own personal experience as well, communication really can foster, nurture a relationship, or it can really injure a relationship. So this is something that is so important to relationship. And it's one of my missions and dreams to really teach communication in the school system so that we all can start out with the basic communication skills to nurture peaceful communication. And I'll just highlight one of the main aspects we talked about in healthy communication was active listening. Active listening, very simple. One person talks, the other person listens. They do not interrupt. They do not defend. They do not give their opinion. And then when the first person is complete, the second person repeats back what was said and then has a chance to respond with the other person actively listening to them. Active listening is a transformative practice for a relationship. I have seen relationships completely heal and shift with the practice of active listening. I cannot overemphasize how helpful, sacred it is. So let me know how all of these practices are landing for you. I'm curious if one of them or more than one seem really resonant for you, and if you're putting them into play in your own life, and what is happening. Do you see shifts? Are you feeling more peace and joy internally as you embody these practices? For me, at least, I have shifted my dream for my life to, number one, be in integrity and peace and joy within myself, no matter what is happening in the external world, no matter what is happening in my partnership, no matter what. And as I embody these practices more deeply, my own inner peace, joy, and sense of personal integrity just skyrockets. So that is my experience. Let me know what your experience is. I would love to hear. Oh, my sister Imani is here. So glad you are here. And my amazing brother Joe, tuning in from Hawaii, of all the amazing places. And I can't see your name, but one amazing Facebook listener has said, my hair is super cute today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I've had a lot of trauma around my hair in this lifetime and other lifetimes, so I do my best. Thank you so much. I appreciate any and all compliments. And I can't see you, but I bet all of you just look amazing too. And I wish I could see everyone's faces. I wish there was a way doing this that I could see everyone. We do have a Zoom meeting tonight for our You Are Your Own Hero Patreon community. And if you want to join, there's still time. Just message me, and I hope to see many of your beautiful faces tonight. We have a really exciting program. It's Call in the Life You Want. So, advanced manifesting, basically. Okay. So, let me know how everything is landing for you. Let me know if there's been any movement on your self-love scale. I shared yesterday that my self-love scale went up. I started out at 8.5 and 5.5 for my self-love outside of relationship and my self-love in relationship. And I shared yesterday that I've gone up, I believe, to a 9 and a 7. So improvement, expansion. It's so exciting, right? We are doing this. We are doing this. We are embodying our self-love. We are changing our own internal consciousness. We are seeing results on the external. My dear sister Christina, she shared yesterday in our episode that she experienced a miracle with, I believe she said 3 different people, 3 different relationships in her life after this challenge, during this challenge, that she didn't even have to do anything. And this is, of course, the universal truth: as within, so without. We are always seeing simply a reflection of our internal consciousness in our external reality. So as we ground in, as we embody, as we nurture, develop our self-love, we will see magical, miraculous transformations in our external world. And we won't even have to do anything. It just will happen. It's just a reflection. Everything is just a reflection of our internal consciousness. That's cool, right? That is really cool. Just do the inner work, do the inner expansion if you like. You don't have to. But if it feels resonant, and then watch the magic, watch the miracles happen. This has been my experience since I started a very simple self-love practice 6 years ago. I just started saying, I love you to myself. I didn't believe it. I was basically faking it until I made it. Now, when I say it, I do believe it. But from the time that I started pretty much a daily self-love practice, all sorts of miracles and magic has shown up in my life. So I always say this, but if you are to do just one practice a day for yourself, I think self-love is the number one practice. Okay. So let me know how this is all landing for you. I love to hear how you're experiencing all of this and your feedback. It's so great. We have another, oh, Debbie's here. Yay. Yay. My beautiful sister, Debbie from Florida, my longtime friend. So glad you're here. Okay. Are you excited for the next practice? I am. This is a new practice for me. I get most excited about the new practices. I love talking about them because it helps me more fully embody them, right? As we come together and talk about these practices, I hope for all, it helps us embody these practices more. Okay, so exciting. This practice is radical ownership and accountability for each partner. Boom. So I'm not sure what your experience has been throughout your life, but I know for me, the way I was brought up as a child, I felt very, very responsible for relationships, as if all of the responsibility was on me for the relationship. Oh, good. My mom is here too. Yay. Hello, Mom. So glad you're here. So I think this is a common experience, especially for light workers. And at this point in time, we are able to release that. So for me personally, throughout my life, I have been in an orientation that whatever relationship I'm in, I'm responsible for it. And throughout my life, I have tended to be the one leaning in, to be the one really supporting the relationship, to be the one giving so much of my time, so much of my effort, sometimes so much of my money. And not, as I look back, not really being fully met in these relationships. I was very much overcompensating. I was very much propping up these relationships. So the practice here is, if that resonates with you, and if you can see that in your own behavior, to let that go. Let that go. Radical ownership and accountability for each partner in their role in the relationship. And I just want to back up here. For those of us who may have had challenging upbringings, it would be a survival mechanism as a child to do what we're talking about. If you had a parent that maybe wasn't always present, most likely they were going through their own stuff. They of course were doing their best, but if you had a parent that wasn't present for you in the way that felt safe and secure to you as a child, it would be a very normative coping mechanism as a child to lean in to that parent, to try to prop up the relationship with the parent, to overcompensate towards the parent so that you could receive some parental energy and basically survive. So my belief is that if you are holding this energy now, it may have its roots in this possible experience as a child, where you were not feeling safe and secure in a parental relationship, so you overcompensated in order to try to receive some parental energy. This is very, very, very common. So if that resonates, you can just sort of think about that if that was the case for you. So now that we are adults and we are responsible for ourselves and we do not have to rely on a parent to take care of us, we can release any of that energy. So the first part of radical ownership and accountability for each partner as a self-love practice is, I'm going to invite you right now to take an audit, take a bit of an inventory of your relationship over the entire course of its life and really look at what seems to be the energetic receiving or the energetic outpouring from each person, from you and from your partner. Does it feel equitable overall? Of course, it's going to ebb and flow. That's fine. But over the entire life of your relationship, does the energetic output from each of you feel somewhat equitable? And this means everything. This means everything. This means money. This means time. This means focus. This means acts of love, love letters, massages, all of it. In other words, are you receiving back from your partner in an equitable way to what you are giving. So I'm super curious if anyone wants to share about this, what your experience has been. And I'm just going to be honest. I love just sharing everything. In when I look at all of my relationships over the course of my life, no, 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 it has not been equitable. No, a resounding no. A resounding no. It has not been equitable. And when I ask myself why, so why have I been doing this? Why have I been giving more? It's my own responsibility, right? I and only I am responsible for my life and my happiness. So me giving more, it's my responsibility. And when I really think about it, I think it's lots of things. I think I have been in this pattern of behavior from my childhood of feeling responsible, feeling I need to prop up relationships. And I think it also has to do with a fear of abandonment. If I don't do this, will the relationship just fall away? Will I be abandoned? All of that. So to me, it has been groundbreaking to really look at this. And I am making a commitment to myself now that I will no longer engage in doing this because I and only I am responsible for my happiness. So I am committed to giving in a way that feels equitable to what I am receiving. And if that means that me sort of no longer propping things up means the relationship falls away, so be it. Perfect. I don't need a relationship where I'm giving, giving, giving and not receiving. So this has been just a really great expansion for me. And let me know how this is landing for you. Let me just see if there's anything else I wanted to add here. Okay, so that's the first part. The first part is equitable energy in the relationship and really taking an audit of how this is in your relationship. Okay, the second part of radical ownership and accountability for each partner is basically emotionally, what is my stuff? What is their stuff? And what is our stuff? Okay, this is huge, huge. So I just want to ask you, have you ever, over the course of your lifetime, been in a relationship where you felt on some level, your human felt a need to tiptoe or walk on eggshells around your partner? Let me know if you've ever had that experience. I know I have. Through the course of my lifetime, I have been in many relationships where my human might feel scared of the other person's response, reaction to my truth. And I would feel some pressure. It was self-imposed. It's my responsibility, but I'd feel some pressure, some fear to walk around on eggshells or tiptoe around. So again, just like the previous situation we were talking about overcompensating energetically, the tiptoeing and the walking on eggshells are often as well related to childhood experiences. If you grew up in a household where if you spoke your truth, if you shared your feelings, and this was very negatively received in any way, maybe a family member lashed out at you, maybe a family member abandoned you, then you would have received messages that it is not safe. It is not safe if I want to be taken care of to speak my truth, to share my feelings. So if you have continued to experience that in relationship, again, it may very well be linked to your childhood experience. And I believe that was the case for me. So I believe this orientation has been, again, a childhood survival mechanism. And I believe it's quite common. So when I look at my relationship, I can see that, especially in the beginning, I was holding that orientation of, and it was basically unconscious. I wasn't really consciously aware of it. I'm more aware of it now as we're talking about it, but I can see that I was doing this practice. I was somewhat tiptoeing and walking on eggshells around certain topics that I was concerned might be received very negatively, and there might be things coming back at me that would be really uncomfortable. So the practice here is to release any of that, is to let that go, is to let go any tiptoeing, to let go any walking on eggshells, and to fully embrace your own truth, your own feelings, your own authentic experience in the relationship and in life in general. So for me at this point, a basic need that I have in my relationship, in any relationship, is that I am able to freely speak, as long as I'm doing it in a highest and best way. So I'm not saying to freely speak in a destructive, lashing out, reactive way, but to freely speak if I am in a calm, grounded space and I have benevolent intentions. I'm not trying to hurt. I'm trying to simply express myself and share my experience. So this has become a really a top need for me in relationship. So my mom is saying good advice, but not easy. Mom, can you be more specific about what you're talking about? Because I know I've said many things, but I'm curious what point you're referring to. I'd love to know. Okay, so let me know how this is landing for you. Have you ever found yourself tiptoeing, even just unconsciously? Maybe you're even seeing it now. Have you ever found yourself, well, this is my truth. I can feel it, but I don't really want to say it because I don't want to deal with the repercussions of saying it. So this gets into the topic that the truth always serves all. I want to say it again. It's so important. The truth always serves all. This is what I receive from Spirit all the time, this teaching. And we know it can be really uncomfortable. We know it can be really awkward. We know sometimes the truth that feels important to share can be very uncomfortable for the person we are sharing it with. But the guidance here is, in the long run, it will always serve all. It will serve you. It will serve the other person. Part of being a light worker is shining the truth. I know if I tune into, oh, I'm a light worker, the really fun part is shining love, right? It feels so great to be loving, to give love. People receive it really well. It's a win-win. Everyone feels great. But part of being a light worker is also shining the truth. This doesn't always feel as good as shining the love, but we are here to do that. We are here to be truth speakers. It will always serve all. When we do not fully speak the truth, we are, in a sense, enabling. We are propping up, we are supporting a situation or behavior that is not highest and best. So, one of the roles that partners in relationship play for each other is to shine the truth. It is to give feedback. Uh, there's so many things that come up in relationship that will not come up if we are just on our own. So it is a gift. It is a gift to each other to shine the light, to shine the light of truth. It may not feel great in the moment to receive some of this, but over the long run, it is just helping us see our shadow, and it is a gift. So when you speak the truth from a benevolent intention, from a calm and grounded space, especially if it's a truth that has been long term, it's not just an immediate realization. You've given it a bit of time to somewhat make sure that this really is the truth. Then it is always highest and best to share it. Mom, thank you so much for the comment. We may be in a benevolent mood, but the other person may not be. Truth is what an individual knows, but perhaps not the other person. Yes, you make some really good points here. When we feel the call to share a truth with our partner or anyone else that we realize may be very uncomfortable for them, of course, we want to be very mindful of our timing. And I think it's really great to ask. I have something to share with you. Honestly, it may be a bit uncomfortable. Could you let me know when might be an appropriate time to do this? So giving the person a heads up and the ability to decide when they are in a healthy, grounded place to receive this. So yes, really, really, really good point there. Let me know how this is landing for you. What is it like for you to share uncomfortable truths with your partner or with anyone? What is your experience? It takes courage, doesn't it? It really does take courage. I know it's always a little challenging for me. I always have some fear and discomfort come up. I'm a Libra. I love harmony. I don't like rocking the boat. I don't like conflict. I like everyone to get along, including with my partner. But this goes back to what I shared is now my number one goal for my life. And that is that I live in deep integrity and peace within myself. So if I'm holding a truth that feels really important to share, but I'm not, then I don't feel well inside. I feel an inner conflict. So I always go back to what will help me be in inner peace, and that's really my compass, my North Star. Joe, thank you so much for your comment. I spend more time pondering whether it's my truth or if it's my want. That's really a great point. And what comes to mind is possibly just voicing that around whatever topic this relates to, sharing that with your partner. There's something on my heart. There's something that feels important to share with you. And to be honest, I don't know if it's my truth or if it's my want. I'm not even sure. And sometimes this is the point of therapy. When we talk these things out, we receive more insight. So I think that's wonderful that we approach our partners. Sometimes we don't even know. I'm not sure what's going on around this topic, but it feels important to talk about. Would you hold space for me? Can we talk about this? So for me, Joe, you're just sharing the truth. The truth is you don't know if it's your truth or if it's a want. So this beautiful practice of really showing up as our truest, authentic self. So for me, I know as I shared in the past, I was always taking full ownership for the relationship. I was often just giving more energy than I was receiving. And I was often tiptoeing or walking on eggshells around certain topics for lots of different fears. And so, what we're really talking about here is when we embody this practice of radical ownership and accountability for each partner, we're each owning our own stuff, and we're each committed to showing up in our most truthful, authentic self, not giving in to fears of oh, this is uncomfortable, or if I say this, will the person leave me? We're moving through all those fears, and ideally we're each showing up as our true authentic self, able to speak the truth in a loving way. And this is really how each person and the relationship grows. uh, in my experience as a marriage and family therapist, it's so common to see couples and individuals within the coupleship in stagnancy, in so much stagnancy, because both are playing it safe. Both are basically giving in to different fears, all sorts of fears, including fear of abandonment or fear of awkward conversations, and they're in stagnancy. And neither one is really growing. The relationship is not growing because these more perhaps awkward conversations and ultimately expansions are not taking place. So, again, if we view that relationship is the vessel for expansion and let go of the socialized idea that relationships are always supposed to be easy or conflict free or yeah, just very, very no problem. If we can let go of that and more embrace, relationships are here to expand us. We only expand through challenge. And so if your relationship is bringing challenge to you, great. That means you are being invited to expand, and we can lean in. We can lean in with our truth, with our authentic self, and move through any fear we have. If you are showing up as your true, authentic self with benevolent intentions and acting in highest and best, and that means the other person is not receiving it well and the relationship is really not going well, then this relationship is not for you. The relationship is only for you if it thrives when you are showing up in your true authentic self. If you are showing up in anything short of that, you are not in integrity to yourself and your soul's plan. So it's a litmus test. It is a litmus test of a relationship. Can you show up in your true authentic self? If that's not working, this may be a relationship that is meant to fall away. This doesn't mean that you can still show up as your true authentic self and there can still be difficulty, but over the long term. We're talking about over the long term. Let me know how all of this is landing for you. Debbie has a really great comment here. Some people seem like they're never in the mood to receive the truth. Oh my goodness. I can relate to that. I have this complication with a family member. He only wants to talk about what he wants to talk about, usually himself. And when I try to talk to him about anything, he doesn't want to talk about it or hear. He cuts me off and gets aggravated very easily. It's definitely been a challenge. I've learned a lot, but truly wish things could be better with him. Okay, I'm so glad you shared this. So, this is great. This is common. There are many people on the planet who are not yet on the page of being able to have these types of conversations, and usually it's because they're not able to look at themselves. So something's coming in, they get triggered, it's bringing up a lot for them, and they don't know how to handle it. And especially older men in our society, they don't have the tools to receive truth and to feel feelings and to communicate. And this is really it's changing in our society, but older men especially are often not equipped for these types of conversations. So what do we do? How do we find peace? How do we find peace with that? My route to peace is always feel all of your feelings. It sounds like a lot of feelings for you come up around this, which is perfect. So feel all of your feelings around this. You just doing that may actually shift something with this person. I've experienced that a lot, feeling all of my feelings around a particular person and them somewhat magically shifting. It's amazing. So I'd feel all of my feelings. And then because you and only you are responsible for your life and your happiness, you decide what kind of interaction am I comfortable having with this person so that I can maintain my own happiness. So that is what I would do in that situation. And I think it's a really, really common situation. And I'm so glad you shared it. And again, so many of us on this session right now, we are here to be teachers. We are here to be teachers of what we're talking about, of living in the truth, of radical ownership and accountability, of mutuality, of energy exchange. So we're here to teach. And so we can also look at it that way, that some of the people we are in relationship with may not know this teaching. And so we are here in service to them as well. And this is not always easy. It's not always, may not always be what we want. Certainly to our human, it feels great when we are met in these really healthy ways by those we're in relationship with. But we're here to change the planet. We have come in to change the planet, and that is what we are doing. Thank you so much for these comments. They're all so helpful. A couple other points around what we're talking about in the aspect of what is mine, what is theirs, and what is ours is when there is tension or a conflict that comes up, for each partner to really engage in self-reflection and really, in a way, deconstruct, debrief about what happened, and possibly have a conversation about, okay, in that conversation, I can see that these old wounds were coming up for me, and these old stories were coming up for me. And these old memories of past situations with intimate partners were coming up with me. And these fears were coming up for me. So this is under radical ownership and accountability, right? What led to the conflict? What led to the tension? Was some of it around my own stuff? Was some of it around your own stuff? And can each of us take some time to do some inner work around that stuff that is now being illuminated for us through this interaction? So again, this is a catalyst. When there is dis-ease, when there is conflict, when there is tension, this is a great opportunity. This is illuminating something, usually for both people. Usually, if there is conflict, there is something for both people to look at in their shadow, their wounds, their stories, their fears. And then, of course, there is a third location. What is ours? Okay, what's my own stuff? What is your own stuff? And then what is ours? What really does have to do with us as a couple, and perhaps ways we can each shift a bit, perhaps ways we can further try to harmonize with each other in the relationship. And let me just see if there was anything else around that. Oh, okay. This is a really big point. This is a huge point, and this is really goes back. It relates to what I just said, and it also goes back to not tiptoeing and being able to show up as your true, authentic self and speak your truth. We've heard this a million times, probably. You are not responsible for other people's feelings. I'm going to say it again, partly because I really need to embody this. You are not responsible for other people's feelings. So part of the reason we tiptoe is because we don't want to hurt people. But it doesn't feel good. I don't think anyone really enjoys hurting another human. At the same time, you're not responsible for their feelings. When you are coming from a benevolent intention, when you are showing up in your true self and benevolently speaking your truth, and the other person has a reaction, their feelings are hurt, they're getting triggered, maybe they're getting angry, that's their stuff. That is their stuff. Usually there's nothing you can do. Usually there is nothing you can do. That is illuminating their own shadow, their own wounds, their own stories that they're getting an invitation to look at. So I know with my partner, there are many times in conversation where one of us gets triggered, and it's our own shadow coming up. And once that has happened in conversation, you can see it. The energy shifts. You can see the facial expression shifts, the body language shifts, the speaking shifts. It all shifts. It was peaceful and harmonious and constructive up until then. And then one of you gets triggered, and you can sense it and you can see it in the body language. At that point, I have personally found it's often best to graciously, lovingly end the conversation. That is when conversations can start to really go south, when one person is triggered. You can certainly say, I think maybe what I just said was hard for you. I know I support you. I'm here. But it may be a good time for each of us just to reflect at this point, and we can come back together later on. So that has been my experience. And again, this just, I want to really focus on this. When you are speaking your truth from a benevolent intention in a calm and grounded way, and your partner has some type of reaction, anger, hurt, whatever it is, you're not responsible. And to not speak those truths is not serving either of you. So lots of really big expansions here, radical ownership and accountability for each partner. What is each of you energetically bringing to the table in terms of every aspect: your time, your effort, your focus, your phone calls, your texting, your money. Over the long term, is it equitable? And if it's not, is there an invitation here for you to scale back on what you are giving? I know for me that is really important for my own sense of happiness. That I'm not giving more. For me, for my human, my happiness is related to feeling like there is equability in the energy. And then the second practice here is the truth always serves all. And this is related to what is mine, what is yours, what is ours, and really each person taking radical ownership and accountability for their own inner work, their own shadow, what needs to be looked at in order for harmony to flourish. Let me know how all of this is landing with you. Debbie, thank you for this comment. It's a lot easier with people you aren't related to because you can just step away from a relationship with someone exhibiting toxic behaviors, more difficult with a family member. I've learned to just limit the conversations with him. Yeah, that sounds like a great practice. Whatever brings you happiness, whatever brings you peace and joy, it is our right, it is our privilege, it's our responsibility to maintain our own peace and joy. So that's your compass, that's your North Star in deciding what your interactions will be with anyone. How do I preserve my inner peace and joy with this person or with anyone or in any situation? So let me know how this practice of radical ownership and accountability lands for you. For me, it's so exciting. For me, this is really life changing. I have not previously really looked at relationship this way. I think because of how I grew up, and then I continued in certain behavioral patterns. Even with my current relationship, I started out not in this practice. And so to me, this is really exciting and is such a practice of self love in relationship. What a relief. I literally feel my shoulders relaxing as we're talking about this. I literally feel my shoulders relaxing. That is not my responsibility to carry any relationship. That a relationship is built and maintained and nurtured through the efforts and love and energy of both people. This is a new concept for me. So I'm really excited about it, and I'm excited about how my life will transform through embodying this practice. And so much of what we're talking about goes back to the day 2 practice, that you and only you are responsible for your life and happiness. So if your relationship is not the way you want it, then how do you want to do things differently in your relationship? You can do things differently, and you can shift your end of the relationship on your own. And often you will see your partner showing up differently as well. As within, so without. So let me know how this practice feels for you. I would love to know. It's such a powerful practice, and we're so excited. So tomorrow is day 10. It's already the end of the self-love in relationship challenge. I would love tomorrow, if you're able to come on, to share your self-love number. We gave ourselves a number last week, and I'd love to see with you if there's been any shift. It's okay if there hasn't. It's all good, but it's kind of fun nevertheless. And the topic tomorrow is fearless, radical attention to how you are being treated in your relationship. And this is something we've talked about basically the entire challenge, but we're going to talk about it more specifically tomorrow. And a beautiful message here. I've just received the keys to uplift my loving relationships and my life. Wow, Tassel, you are rocking it. Take it to the schools. Yes. I so agree. This is really a passion of mine, as I said, for all of us as children to really have learned all of these practices for relationship. And another beautiful comment. Thank you, Tassel. I always learn some new tools for a happier me. Yes, that is what we are here for. We are here for a happier me. We have come down on this planet to have an adventure, to expand, to learn lots of amazing things, and as well to live a life of joy, of peace, of abundance, of miracles, of magic. We are not here to suffer. We are here, sometimes there will be pain, but we are not here to suffer. We are here to experience everything in life, and we are here to bring through all of our dreams for our lives, every single one. So tonight we have our monthly You Are Your Own Hero Patreon meeting. It's at 8 o'clock Eastern. The topic is call in the life you want. We're going to be doing a really fun, powerful practice of really envisioning the life we want and doing some energetic practices to bring it through. It's going to be so much fun. And there is still time to join if you have not yet become a Patreon member. And I'm just going to type it into the chat here. Please sign up. It's very inexpensive. It's as low as $5 a month. And this is our You Are Your Own Hero tribe, where we see each other on Zoom at least once a month, often more than once a month. And it's so much fun. We have such a great group. And we really just hold each other's hands in solidarity, in embodying our own hero, embodying self-love, and walking each other home. So thank you so much. So much love to you. You're all awesome. Thank you for being here. I'm going to hopefully see a bunch of you tonight, and anyone else who wants to join in, please join us. I love you. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. Mwah. Bye.